So leading off from discipline, we're going to start talking about a couple of the legal aspects from an administration standpoint, particularly revolving around health, the healthcare environment, and health services administration. So just a couple of terms I want to encourage you to familiarize yourself with. You'll see them presented throughout this module and through the text. So just make sure that you're familiar with these. I know we've said it before in this class, and you're going to hear it probably throughout your time if you're in the public health program or if you find yourself in healthcare. That healthcare probably is the most regulated industry next to nuclear medicine, and it's not, or nuclear power. It's not far behind nuclear power in terms of regulations. And there's a lot of regulations as an administrator, as a manager, as somebody serving in that supervisory role, you're going to have to be familiar with. And we're going to cover a couple of those throughout this module. So when I say settlement, what we mean here, settlement and mediation, it's just happening outside the courtroom, and this usually occurs between the plaintiff and the defendant. A lot of times companies and organizations will tend to try and go this route through mediation to keep from going into court, because going to court can be a little costly. There are estimates that it's about $300,000 to go to court to try and settle a case. So a lot of companies and organizations will try to go the settlement or the mediation route. So we have something I want you to make sure that you're familiar with, particularly if you're going to find yourself in that executive, administrative role. Respond as superior, which, like it says, let the master answer. And what this means is, even if you have a negligent nurse or a doctor or somebody working for your organization, if that individual is negligent, the company is still responsible. So not only is that individual responsible, but now the company itself is responsible. And this applies mainly to civil actions, which, civil actions revolve a lot around money and not necessarily the criminal actions. So we're looking at civil actions from this perspective. So a quick note on negligence versus malpractice. When we talk about negligence, it is the job of the plaintiff. So if you are an organization being brought under a lawsuit, you would obviously be the defendant, but it is the job of the plaintiff to prove that you as an organization were negligent and deviated from your protocol. So if you have a plaintiff that starts to request a lot of your medical records, what they're looking for is a way to prove that you were negligent or had some malpractice through deviation from your protocols and procedures. And that's a good indicator when they start requesting those medical records. So guys, it's important to know, you can still be sued even if you have a third-party contractor working within your facility. So if you bring a third party in, like a physician's practice, and they are brought under a malpractice or negligence suit, you can also be sued as the organization if you bring in a third party contractor for housekeeping, for environmental services, for engineering, anything you contract out. If there's any negligence or malpractice there on the third party, you can still be held liable for them operating within your facility. So just make sure that you're aware of that. I'm gonna end my part with this slide right here. I'll scroll through the rest. We've got quite a few left. that just go over a couple different regulations that I want to make sure you're aware of. We've got some videos throughout the slide deck. They're fairly short, so please make sure you go through and watch them. They're regarding HIPAA, OSHA, and equal employment opportunities. So just make sure you watch through those videos and let me know if you have any questions. Here's the first video regarding HIPAA that I want to make sure you take a second to watch. Fairly short, but goes over the HIPAA privacy compliance law. And again, this one with OSHA, please make sure to watch that one as well. As well as equal employment opportunity, this video here. We'll end with this one for the ADA, the American Disabilities Act. This is the last video, last slide in the deck, so please make sure to watch it. And again, if you have any questions, please let me know.